is Timmy Miller, and for my PLP, I evaluated socialism and capitalism and compared and contrasted them. So why I picked this PLP? For my PLP, I really wanted to do something different, just out of the ordinary, and I thought this PLP would be a great thing to do. And I also wanted to do something that was a life skill. So something that years from now I'll remember and go, wow, I did that. So first of all, I'm going to explain what socialism and capitalism are. So socialism is mainly where a community's trade and economy is controlled by the government and social enterprise. Capitalism, on the other hand, is the theory of private enterprise, where a country's economy and trade are controlled by private business owners versus the government. So here are a few similarities and differences of socialism and capitalism. Commonly, socialism has more taxes and more government. Capitalism, less taxes and less government. And you can interpret that as a positive or negative. And some similarities between them are they're both different forms of government, and they've both been performed successfully and unsuccessfully in the past. So here are some examples of where capitalism and socialism have been performed successfully and unsuccessfully. So the United States is an example of capitalism, and Sweden is an example of socialism. So both the United States and Sweden have had an increase of gross domestic production, so exporting goods, by 30% more since 30 times more since 1960. And then the United States has 72 people for every government employee, and Sweden 39. So Sweden has more government, and the tax rates are about 30% per person, personal tax-wise, for the United States, and 50% for Sweden. So more taxes for Sweden and less for the United States, and they have both been successful countries since. So you might be wondering now, where did capitalism and socialism come from? So our founding fathers are a great example of people who founded on the basis of capitalism. And Karl Marx is the creator of modern-day socialism and communism. So what I really decided would be cool is to compare some quotes between Karl Marx and our founding fathers. So the first quotes I gathered were on freedom of religion. So what James Madison, our founding father, said was really that we should not have to intermeddle with your religion, and it is your decision, your choice. Karl Marx, on the other hand, was not in favor of even having religion. He said it's the impotence of the human mind to deal with things you cannot understand. So really saying that religion is the stuff that fills the blank, the part that you can't understand. The next part I did was private property. So what James Otis, our founding father, said was that having your private property in your home is one of the most important things out there. That your home is yours and we have no right in taking it and controlling it. Karl Marx, on the other hand, said that we should abolish and get rid of all private property. And the last one I did was life, and overall how to live your life and what their goals were. So Benjamin Franklin, our founding father, said that you should work as hard as you can and pray and believe in something very thoroughly. Karl Marx, on the other hand, said that his goals were to dethrone God and destroy capitalism. The next thing I did was I found a survey online, and what this was people's opinions on socialism. So what I really found is in the younger age group, people thought socialism was evenly positive and negative. So what I decided to do was a test. So the test I did was I video recorded people asking them, hey, would you be willing to bring your grade from an A to a C to bring someone else's grade up from an F to a C? So, would they be willing to give away some of their money to the government, or their grade in this case, to help someone else with a worse grade and bring them up so they're all even? And what I found from this was the people about half the time said yes and half the time said no. They're like, sure, I'll be doing this. It's not going to actually happen. It'd be a good thing to do, though, on a video recording. So what I did next was I asked kids if they would like to sign a petition to say they'd give up half of their grade to help someone else with a worse grade. And the results from that were really outstanding. When people actually were asked to sign something saying that, yeah, I'll give away half of my grade, pretty much everybody said, no way, why would I do that? And there's a few people who said yes, but the majority of people said no, no way, I'm not going to sign off on that. And overall, in our countries today, in the world today, capitalism is more preferred. And 9 out of the 10 top economies are capitalist societies, excluding China. So, overall, I learned a lot from my project. I really got a deeper understanding of socialism and capitalism. I learned how to conduct a really successful experiment and learn how to organize people and talk very clearly in an experiment. And I became a better researcher. In the beginning of this project, I really was pretty bad at researching, and it took me hours to get stuff done. And towards the end, I got substantially better. Community service. I didn't really have that much community service in my project. I think explaining to you guys what socialism and capitalism are is a community service, making everybody more aware of what our government is. So my advice is to pick a project that you're passionate about. Pick a project that you'll remember years from now. Before this, my last PLP was gum. And I really learned the difference between Hubba Bubba and Double Bubble. But from this project, I really gained something really substantial and really a life skill. If I was to do this again, I'd include communism in my project and interview politicians with opposing points of view as well. Would I do this again? Yes and no. There was some things that I really enjoyed, and other times when the research was really challenging, it got stressful, but when I overcame it, it was a lot of fun. And in the end, I can really say now that I prefer capitalism over socialism, and I enjoy the benefits of a capitalistic society over a socialist society. Thank you. Well, when reading about socialism, I really found that it really filled my heart and that it was a great thing in theory. But when I tested it out, I found that I really didn't like this and that people didn't seem to like it as well. We don't have time for questions. I'm sorry.